Welcome back to Tarot and Beyond. Today's reading is As You Will It, So It Shall Be. So we're going to be looking at where in your life you are manifesting through your will, sheer will. And we have 3 options for you to choose from today. Each one corresponds to a specific magician card, or you can choose from the piles that you see here in front of you. So we've got group 1, group 2, and group 3. Use the timestamps linked in the description box or pinned in the comment section below to jump ahead to your chosen reading or readings. If you do feel called to more than one, that's perfectly fine. You might even feel called to watch all of them, but select one intuitively and see how the messages apply. Just take what resonates and leave the rest, and we'll see you in your readings. All right, hi group number 1, welcome to your reading. Let's find out what you are manifesting through sheer will. So we're going to start here with the owl. Wow, so it looks like you're manifesting seeing in the dark is what I'm seeing. It's like you are able to see beyond what is readily available to the human eye. I'm seeing psychic abilities for sure. I think that through your willpower, you are creating the opportunity to, it's like you're seeing beyond the veil, seeing beyond what is readily available. I feel an energy of otherworldliness about this owl as well. You might be manifesting connections to, I heard the heavens, but I was actually going to say, and what I'm seeing with the owl is actually contact with extraterrestrials. This is so bizarre, but that's what I'm getting. And when I channel messages, I need to say them, otherwise I can't continue. So I'm seeing connection to your galactic family or your star family. Okay, so we're gonna find out what the rest of your cards say. You have open your heart. Wow. So this is definitely an experience that is going to awaken your heart. As you expand and open your mind and your psychic abilities, your energy field expands. And as a result, you do actually go through several waves or layers of heart awakening is what they're showing me. And the moon is really present in this card, and it's also present in this one as well. So I feel like both of these are talking again about the subconscious mind, what's beyond the veil, what's below the surface. I feel like you're really tapping into a deep, deep layer within yourself, and it is awakening a part of you that you didn't even realize was there. The eyes of the owl are so magnetic. I'm having a hard time looking away from them. Every time I try to look at the other card, they pull me back to the owl, and it's like I'm getting an activation from this owl. So you're probably having an experience, or you're manifesting, or you will manifest soon, an experience where you look into someone's eyes and they activate you. I've experienced this myself, and I actually provide these for others as well. It's usually not planned. It's not something you pay for. It's just something that happens. It's coordinated at soul level. It's usually very serendipitous, and it can sometimes even just be in passing. And I did mention that in my most recent community post. Actually, it's not the most recent one, but it was a little story that I shared about going for a walk in the park. So there's activations that I'm seeing here for you. Yeah, I feel like there's somebody who is a galactic being who's kind of like masking themselves to look like a human, and they're activating you. This is such a bizarre message, but again, I have to bring it through. It's like they look like a human, but they're not. And they are energetically here to activate you to remember your soul family, and it's going to open your heart in a really, really powerful way. You may fear this on some level, but I want to get the rest of your cards because I don't really know what to make of this. I'm even feeling a little overwhelmed from this energy, so I can see why you would fear it. Talk about your feelings. Tell a friend how you feel. So it's very much about opening your heart and diving deep into your feelings, into the emotional body. I think this is reconnecting you with a part of yourself that you had lost. And I think it's the reconnection to the galactic family that helps to spur that on. But I think that there's fear there, not because this other being is negative. I think this other being is actually very, very, yes, they are. Spirit's confirming they are very, very positive. The issue here is that this other being activates within you things within the subconscious mind that have not been processed or looked at, and they are painful. There's wounding there, there's fear. Generational fear is what they just told me. Generational fear. So this could be things like epigenetic wounding, trauma in the bloodline, trauma from past lives even, or a combination really of those things. And even programming too, like programming that you learned growing up here. You're a galactic being, group number 1. And if you're not familiar with the term starseeds, I would very much encourage you to look that up. I have a whole entire starseed origin series on my old channel if you want to dive deep into that. But I won't go into too much into it here, but they're definitely confirming that, yeah, you are a galactic being. And this is kind of like a starseed awakening is what it looks like to me. But if you already know that you're a starseed, this is like a whole nother level of galactic family connection. And it's through this awakening and this heart opening that this is helping you to remember and connect back to your soul family. Wow. Light. See the light within yourself and everyone else. Yeah, this is a light being. This galactic being is a light being, and their stare is intense. Their eyes are intense. That's why it can feel triggering. It can feel scary because it's so powerful, but it's coming from the light and it's coming from love. That's when you know, like, something that is light and love can still feel scary because it can feel overwhelming and it can bring up your shadow. That's why light beings and light workers tend to trigger people, because it activates within you anything that is unresolved, and any fear that needs to come up to be processed will come up. And it's actually a good thing that it's coming up, because it helps to purge and release that fear so that you're not carrying it around anymore. So this is a major light activation. Wow, I was not expecting this. I was like thinking, maybe you're going to be manifesting a job or money or like a relationship. And I do see love here, but I don't want to get into that just yet. I want to see what the rest of your cards hold, because I think this is part of it. But it's so much bigger than that. So much bigger than that. So let's see, you have practice. The best way to be good at a skill is to practice, practice, practice until you get it right. So this could be practicing talking about and opening your heart. This could be practicing telepathically communicating with your soul family, with your galactic guides, because they are around you. Yes, so practicing channeling could be part of this. Talking out loud or in your head to these beings can be helpful, because it helps to improve the they're showing it to me like the connection, like the energetic connection, so that you can hear them more clearly and they can transmit to you, and vice versa. So they do want you to practice that, and it helps you to hold that frequency. It's kind of like the more you do it, the more energetically attuned you are to that frequency, and the easier it is for you to hold it. Your heart stays nice and open. You're able to really express yourself authentically. You see beyond what is physically present in your life, and you can start to actually experience the magic that this world has to offer. Okay, you have unlikely. Let me ask Spirit what they're talking about here. Okay, they drew me back to the moon. The moon is really relevant and present in your reading, group number 1. So there's something about the moon that's important. They gave me the word luminary, and then they took me to the light card. So yeah, it's a luminary. It's illuminating something within you. And again, the moon represents the subconscious mind. So I think that this is something that you thought was very unlikely, like this would never happen, or this couldn't possibly be true. But when you experience something for yourself, what you believe to be true and not true can change and adapt. I've learned that, if you told me that I would be on the internet doing readings about aliens essentially, and psychic stuff, and talking about angels and doing energy healing stuff, I never would have believed you. Because I'm a very skeptical person. I am very grounded. I'm very practical. I'm very linear thinking. I like science. I like facts. And so the fact that I'm here today, even talking to you right now in this reading, is a testament to the fact that we can change when we actually have experience, because it was through the experiences that I actually had in my own life and the data points that really proved that these experiences were valid and that they were true, was what helped me to believe in something more than I was taught to believe, or that has been, socially accepted. You have no place like home. Yeah, it's your galactic family. It's your home. And it's that's why it's connected through the heart, is because this is your family. It's where you come from. It's who you are. It's a part of you. And therefore it's not like it's something outside of you. It is you. I'm going to put this one up over here. Yeah, it is you, because the home and the owl are, this is your galactic family. You have strength. Okay, so they're showing me, and they've been showing me it a couple of times now, but now that I have context with this other card, they're showing me the little pendulum, or like this little talisman. And then they showed me that this is like these things that are kind of hanging off of her arms. It feels like, it's something from a past life, like something that you maybe used as a ward, like a talisman or an amulet that you would use to ward off evil. That's kind of what it feels like. And again, this is connected to fear, I think, because you can use wards and protections and talismans in an empowered way, and you can use them as tools. But I think a lot of the time, some of the superstition and superstitious approaches to these types of tools can instill fear and create fear. And I think that there's something about opening your heart that helps you to unpack some of that generational or epigenetic wounding in the bloodline around superstitions and fears that keep you separated from your galactic family. But it takes great strength to face these things and to open your heart in the face of something that feels threatening or that feels potentially unnerving. That's the energy I get from the owl. It feels unnerving. It doesn't feel like a threat. It doesn't feel negative, because I know what that feels like. But it feels unnerving for sure. It's like it's uncomfortable, but it's not scary. It's just like, I'm curious, but I'm a little bit like, what is this? Because it's so intense. So that's why it's testing your strength here, because you do have to kind of go up against that resistance of the fear to be able to open your heart and connect. Wow. Yeah. More confirmation. 10 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles is the generational card. For me, it always represents like legacy and genetics and even DNA. And that's what we've been talking about here, like the epigenetic, factors in this. And also the fact that your galactic family is also part of your DNA. It is. It's in your DNA as well. And I see that this is actually, your galactic family is helping you to create a home here that's a vibrational match to the home that you have in the stars, is what they just said. So this 10 of Pentacles is kind of a double meaning. It's not just referring to the DNA or the galactic lineage. It's really referring to what you're doing and why this activation has been planned out at soul levels, because it is going to help you to build a stable foundation here that is a vibrational match to that galactic home. So it's going to be much more aligned with you. It's going to feel safer, much safer, and more, you're going to feel more free to be open to people and the world and things around you, because you feel much more protected and much more connected. Yeah. Wow. I was not expecting this at all. Talk about out of left field, but holy cow, is this ever powerful. No way. You have the 9 of Pentacles as well. So the 10 and the 9 of Pentacles. These are two of the best Pentacles cards in the deck, because they're both talking about long-term stability, wealth, generational wealth, legacy, and empire. Feeling, again, like I was just talking about, safe, connected, supported, protected. Like that's very Nine of Pentacles energy. It's like you're creating this home for yourself where you can feel truly safe and free, is what it feels like. And your galactic family is trying to help you do that because they love you. They're your family. Even if, at first you don't remember them and it feels a little bit off-putting or unnerving, is they remember you. You're the one who's been kind of lost in the sauce here in the 3D reality beyond the veil, so it's okay. We also have the Two of Pentacles. Bit of juggling going on here and balancing happening. And again, this is referring to, I pointed at the wrong card. I meant to say it's referring to the practice card, because it's like you've got to practice to master this skill. There's got to be kind of like a continual return to this connection so that it can strengthen and strengthen and strengthen. I didn't even realize, yes, strength, to be able to build this legacy. And you have the Five of Cups, and that's kind of like the talisman on this card looks very sad, and that's kind of what they kept drawing me back to it, and I didn't really know what the context was. So I feel like there's grief within the heart, there's emotional wounding or suffering that you endured here that is kind of coming up or being triggered as this activation comes in. It could be feeling as though you don't have a home or that you don't belong here. Could be attached to or connected indirectly or directly to the fear as well. But I feel it as like wounding and feelings of abandonment are kind of what I'm getting here as well. It's like feeling as though you don't belong or like you don't have a home here, or kind of being mistreated by the people that are here in your life. You have the Seekers. You're definitely a seeker. I don't think this activation would even be something that you were willing into existence if you were not seeking it on some level. Maybe this is something you're even consciously seeking. Maybe you're consciously looking to connect to your galactic family and you're aware that you're a starseed and you know that, and you've done the research and you've uncovered these things and you've had some of these memories return and you're seeking these connections more actively. And maybe you've even had some contact with your galactic family, with your soul family. And it's like you're channeling. I can see that you most likely have the ability to channel whether or not you've mastered it yet. And that's why they keep saying practice, practice, practice. Hold the light, open your heart, receive these activations, get grounded. That's really part of it too, right? If you don't ground, you can't go up. I talked about this in my how-to tutorial on psychic awakening and working with the third eye. If you're a member, you have access to that. But it's like this energy of seek and you shall find. Seek and you shall find. And you have the Lovers. Okay, so now I think it's time we talk about this love connection or this love aspect of this reading. Because it's definitely part of it. There is something to do with a soulmate here, and I think that this galactic connection and activation to create this legacy of wealth for yourself and stability and freedom here on Earth is going to draw in or is going to catalyze a connection with a soulmate who is of a like vibration and from the same soul family. Oh, they said no, not the same soul family. Not quite so close to home. That's what they're saying. It is a soul mate. Yeah, okay, so they did tell me it is a soul mate, but it's not from the same galactic family. But we're all one at the end of the day, so even if we start splitting hairs and saying, Sirians versus Arcturians versus Lyrans or whatever, it's really like, it's semantics because we're all souls and we all come from the one source, so we're all one. But the delineations can be helpful sometimes in understanding our origins, understanding ourselves, and understanding the context of our connections with others. If we're using it for that purpose, it's fine. If we're using it for, if we begin to grasp too like if we become too attached to the idea of our starseed origin, it can be unhelpful. And that's actually why I stopped talking too much about that and stopped making those videos and stuff. But I don't think you're one of those people. I don't know why stuff is going crazy in my office right now. Like stuff's like moving around. And that's actually been happening to me recently. I've been connecting with my galactic family, and there's been stuff like lights will get turned on in my house, and the dishes in the sink were moving and stuff. And I actually asked Spirit, because I'm telepathic and I am a channel, I said, is that you guys? And they said, yeah, it's us. We're trying to get your attention when you're not working. Because when you're working, we're channeling messages for the collective, but when you're not working, you don't really tune in and talk to us. And I'm like, oh, sorry. So they're trying to get my attention so we can have a conversation outside of work. You know what I mean? Because they're like my colleagues, but they want to have like drinks after work and talk about stuff, but without the drinks. Anyways, this isn't about me. The reason why I brought this up is because there may be examples of that are happening for you. Like you might notice some like interesting things happening around you, you know, like things moving around in your house, or just like little spirit nudges from the other side, you know. And this could be an indication that this is kind of leading to this event of this activation, or this series of events of this activation and this opening and this connection to this other person. But yeah, I think this other person is a different galactic race as you at soul level, but they are a soulmate. You guys have incarnated together before. You have a deep, deep bond of love is what I'm seeing. You have the King of Lightnings. So this person could be a masculine energy. They don't have to be, but I am getting, this is an activator in and of themselves as well. So this person that is there sort of waiting in the wings is what I'm seeing. This person's an activator. And they transmit energy as well, whether they realize that that's what they're doing or not. They do transmit energy. And you have the Five of Lightnings. There's definitely some emotions that need to be transmuted here and grounded. And you have the Mother. Wow. So the family line is definitely emphasized here. The home life is definitely emphasized here. And activations to Earth. Like I see, it's like they're showing me both of you as souls coming down and incarnating into the Earth realm. And it's like you're both activators. And you activate the planet, like these lightning bolts hitting the planet. So you guys are like definitely an energetic match, even though you're not from the same place. But look at even this guy, the King of Lightnings in this card. He's sitting on a cloud and you can see the Earth in the background. So yeah, you're definitely not from Earth, and this other person is not from Earth either. But there's a reason that you're coming together at this time. It is an awakening of some kind. You could be building a legacy together, you and this other person. Whether that's financial, or it could be generational, like maybe you have children together, or you will have children together. Furthering the line is what I just heard. So yeah, it could definitely be about having children. Yeah, I just see, I feel a massive heart awakening. Big heart awakening here, and it's going to lead to a lot of wealth and growth. The word growth, very, very strong, just came through. Whenever words kind of interject into a sentence I'm already saying, it's a very strong message, and that's what just happened. So there's a lot of growth here, a lot of evolution. This is the evolution of the bloodline. It's the evolution of the planet. It's the evolution of you and this other soul and your connection. It's the evolution of the galactic family as well. This is like every single tier of existence is evolving in this in this situation or in this relationship. Wow. So let me see what else they want to say here. I see 2 stars in the light card. So again, this is you and this other person. This activation or this connection to yourself and your family is is really spurring this along. I feel like this person is going to be observing you from afar initially, like not the activation from the galactic being, from this other person, from this soulmate, from the lover. I think that they're going to observe you from afar. They're going to see you having fun, doing something that you enjoy, because they're showing me the card here in practice. And there's a man with a lute who's like way off in the background, and he's watching this woman with her tambourine dancing with the unicorn. So I feel like it's definitely like serendipity that you're kind of in the same place at the same time, and they're watching you enjoying yourself. It feels as though you think that this is just so unlikely. Like so unlikely that this person would be attracted to you or connected to you. Because I feel like this person is not like out of your league, but because again, at soul level, we're all one. There is no real hierarchy in that sense. But in the earth plane, like in earth terms, this person is quote unquote out of your league. Maybe they do something in a high position. Yeah, they're showing me them kind of standing up above, like maybe on a stage or something like that, or they do something that's like in a higher position societally. And I think that's why there's this feeling of like, oh yeah, right, like that's so unlikely. But it's like you feel like home to this person and they feel like home to you because you've connected and built generations of connection in the past. It's like you've actually really been connected very intimately in many lifetimes, not just here on earth is what they just said to me. It's like many lifetimes elsewhere too. So even though you're not from the same galactic family, you guys kind of traveled around together is what they're showing me. Yeah, you're like going, okay, let's go to this planet, let's go to this planet, let's go to this planet, and we'll incarnate here and we'll play these beings and we'll see how this goes, and then we'll go to that. But it's the same thing. Like every time you travel around the galaxy together, which is really cool. And I think that, okay, I'm getting a channeled message coming through that there's been interference in this connection in the past. Like there have been, I want to say, I hate saying this, but like dark forces. There have been dark forces at work in this connection trying to keep you apart because you are two very powerful activators. And when you do come together, there is a massive activation that's kind of like, it like blasts out to the collective. So it kind of feels like the concept of twin flames, but you two are not the same soul, but it's the same type of energetic outcome. You know, like the 0 point energy is created, the field really like blasts, you know, energy into the collective, things like that. So that's what I'm seeing here, but you're not from the same soul group and you're not the same soul. You're soul mates, but very, very powerful ones at that. So that's why I think there has been like maybe in the past there was voodoo. If you lived in an African society, there was like dark magic and stuff like that was trying to keep you apart. And that's another reason I think that I feel a little bit unnerved by the owl is that the owl can represent in its shadow form, in its dark aspect, the darker societies and like hidden occult things like that. So I feel like there was something within the layers of your experiences in different lifetimes where that did come into play, where your light was kind of flagged as troublemakers, you know, like by the dark ones. And they tried to prevent you from being together with this soulmate because it was going to infringe on their plan of world domination, for lack of a better word or phrase. You know, it's like, what are they, like Pinky in the Brain trying to take over the world? But that's what they try to do, right? Because they're coming from a place of disempowerment and they have completely disconnected themselves from the all. So of course they're going to try and have power over because they've got no power within. It's sad, but it's true. And I see interference between you. And it's funny because when I said it's sad, but it's true, my mind immediately went to Ursula in The Little Mermaid when she goes, it's sad, but true. And she's trying to interject between Eric and Ariel. So it's like this, the interference, that's the archetype that they're showing me. And that's why that reference came up, because it's somebody who's practicing magic, who is trying to negatively interfere with the connection of two divinely fated and destined soulmates. who are meant to be together, and they come from different worlds. Oh yeah, Eric and Ariel come from different worlds. This message has come up before. I don't think this is the first time that it's never come up in quite so much detail, but this idea of these two souls coming from different worlds has come up in at least one other reading. I don't remember which one it was. If you guys watched it and you remember, leave it in the comments below. But I do remember something about this coming up before. But yeah, very interesting. And I feel like that interference in the past, it did work. It did work. And I think that's why there's a lot of grief here, and why some of the superstition around trying to protect the self came in, because there was genuine fear that other people were meddling in your life and lives energetically and trying to manipulate or influence the connection and your ability to embody your divinity. And they did. But in this lifetime, I think you've gotten wise to it. You've done a lot of self-work. And once you get to a certain threshold of energy, what they're showing me is that those negative influences can no longer touch you. It's because when you do a lot of inner work and you resolve a lot of those internal subconscious fears and wounding, you raise your frequency to a vibrational point where any lower vibrational influence actually cannot infiltrate it, because you have to have something on the inside that resonates with that to let it in. And when you continually practice going back in with the light and with the love, and meeting that fear and meeting that pain and meeting that wounding with love each time, choosing that intentionally as you will it, so it shall be. That love and light fills your entire being, and there's no space for darkness there. It's not a vibrational match at all. So it can't come in. Yeah, it's like a vampire knocking on the door and you not inviting them in. They cannot come in. They cannot pass the threshold because they have not been invited. And so I'm getting this feeling of elation and excitement as I say that, because I think that this is triggering a soul awakening and activation as well. It's like you're able to finally feel safe again in your fortress because you have built it securely. It cannot be infiltrated. Those walls will not come down. You and your divine partner are safe. And it took lifetimes to get to this level. It took a lot of practice to hold this level of light within you, to open your heart and to really be able to feel those painful feelings. It took a lot of strength. Your power was really tested. No Place Like Home always reminds me of the Wizard of Oz. She goes on this wild adventure in her subconscious, right? If we're looking at it that way, she's dreaming the whole time, or she's in like a coma. But she goes through these trials and tribulations where she's tested and where there is a black magic witch who is interfering with her. And she has to overcome all of these things to learn that the power was within her all along. All she had to do was go through these trials and tests and tribulations to understand that. So it was all part of the plan, really, if you look at it that way. Even these interfering magicians and stuff like that, the dark magicians, even that was part of you stepping into your power. And it just took these many lifetimes for you to be able to really cleanse and heal and embody your light to such a high degree that now nothing can stop the connection. There's nothing that can prevent this love from reuniting, because you have embodied that love within you. Again, it's all resonance. It's all vibrational matching. Okay, so I'm getting that feeling of completion. Let me see if there's anything else that Spirit wants to say in regard to your reading, group number 1. They're saying the time is nigh. Prepare for the light. The journey begins. As you will it, so it is. Thank you. Okay. So that's everything. That's what they wanted to say. So that is what I have for you, group number 1. Again, not at all what I was expecting, but wow, talk about powerful. Okay. So yeah, take it and I guess just take what resonates. But yeah, it's like it's meant for you if you clicked on it. So we'll see how this unfolds. So thank you so much for being here, guys. I love you. If you want to go deeper and you really enjoy my readings, you want to support the channel, I do have memberships available. I do provide you with a ton of pick a card content, how-to tutorials, as well as monthly live streams where I jump on and answer members' questions live on camera, connecting to you psychically, providing healing, guidance, and messages from spirit. So if you guys are interested in any and or all of that, you can hit the join button, which should be right below the video or on the main page of my channel. But if you don't see it there, that means that you're on an iPhone and you need to go through a web page for YouTube rather than the app, or you need to go through a desktop computer, just so you know. So anyways, thank you so much for being here, guys. I love you, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye. All right. Hi, group number 2. Welcome to your As You Will It, So It Is reading. So it's been a couple of days since I filmed group number 1. It's been a busy weekend, but I'm excited to jump into your cards and see what you guys are willing into existence. So you have, wow, Air Dragon. Really powerful start. I'm getting like right away, what they showed me was Avatar, the Airbender. Yeah, what was his name? Aang, I think. It's been a while since I watched the show, but it's Avatar, the Last Airbender. And it is an interesting show that mentions a lot to do with spirituality, chakras, avatar level consciousness, and it does really embody the archetypes of the 4 elements really well. So I would definitely recommend watching the show if you haven't. It's fantastic, especially if you like, you know, cartoons and anime and stuff like that. It's made for kids, but it's got a lot of spiritual knowledge in there and it's fun and entertaining. Anyways, Spirit really uses a lot of media and different pop culture things in my readings, if you guys haven't noticed already. And that's what I'm getting from Air Dragon. It's like you're manifesting some kind of spiritual level consciousness into your being. And I think this is to do with avatar level consciousness, which is essentially being aware that you are the soul and you are not kind of confined to the human identity or ego. You go beyond that. You can understand that part of you, but you also understand and can reintegrate all of these different aspects of the self. They're also showing me that Aang could also go into the spirit realm, so he could like leave his body and go into the astral. And that was something that was really important for him in the show. He went on a lot of like spirit quests in the spirit realm to be able to understand things more deeply. Again, I highly recommend watching the show. I think that it's going to kind of archetypally represent something that you're going through right now and that you're willing into being. All right, let's keep going. You have Bountiful Harvest. Okay, so something you are manifesting is coming into being. Obviously, this is an As You Will It, So It Is reading, but I feel like it's like a consciousness level thing. There's like a sense of peace coming in with this card. I feel like there's like they literally just gave me the phrase world peace. You know, like when they ask beauty queens, like, what is your greatest wish, or what do you want? And they're like, world peace. And then now they're showing me from Miss Congeniality, and all of the girls on stage are like, world peace, world peace, world peace. And then Sandra Bullock's character is like, harsher punishment for reoffenders or something like that. It's so funny. It's like... but I feel like you're really stepping into like this feeling of peace is what I'm getting here. And there's a really fruitful sort of harvest that's tangible that comes from that. So it's not just like a spiritual peace that you feel. It is an experience that you have in the world. And they're showing me the air dragon taking flight. So it is very mental, and you also have the dove here in Bountiful Harvest. So there's a lot to do with the mind, because the air element is to do with the mind and being able to take flight. But they keep showing me Aang flying with his, he has like this little unfolding kite thing that he uses to fly around because he can control air. And I'm seeing that it's kind of like you can direct your will wherever it needs to go to create from this place of peace a harvest for yourself to enjoy. Yeah. All right, you have worth waiting for. Your patience will be rewarded. All right, so feels like you've been willing this into being for quite some time, but it's going to be worth it in the long run. You have share. When you share, everyone feels happy. I think like this bountiful harvest is going to be something you're going to share. It's not something that you kind of like hoard or keep to yourself. I feel like this is something that you either communicate to other people, you kind of show them the way is what I'm seeing, or you express this in a way that this bountiful harvest is already sort of, it's not like you even have to share it. It's just like you experiencing it blesses other people somehow. I don't know how that works, but it does. And you have meditation brings answers. Yeah, they're showing me Aang meditating and going into the spirit realm again. So I think you guys would really benefit from some meditation if you haven't already been doing that. Because there's something here about being able to connect through the astral, specifically the astral realm and the mental body. That's really what I'm seeing here. And there's going to be like maybe information that you're going to be able to share. Yeah, it's information you're going to be able to share. Something that helps to bring peace. Again, they were giving me that phrase of world peace. You guys might be light workers who are concerned with world peace. And how you embody your consciousness and how you work with spirit is directly related to that. So that could be something to keep in mind. Ooh, you have blessed. Number 22. So bountiful harvest and blessed here. I mean, yeah, that's really a good way of putting it. You are blessed by the divine is what I just heard. Let me put this over here. You're blessed by the divine. Meditation helps you to connect more with these blessings is what they're showing me. And it takes patience and discipline is also what they just said. It takes patience and discipline to control your mind is basically it. Not control in a restrictive sense, but to be able to work with it more productively, more fluidly. It's like directing your mind. Yeah, that's a better word. Instead of controlling, you're directing your mind. And it does take a lot of patience and discipline to be able to master that skill. Now, I see that that's essentially what you're doing as you will it, right? And this is when we're talking about the will, we are talking about a lot to do with the mind, because without the mind and our ability to discipline it and to work with it in this way, we really don't have much of a direction, right? If we can't direct the mind, then our will is scattered and our manifestations are therefore scattered because the energy is dispersed in a very chaotic type of way. So to build something this bountiful, it really does, first of all, take time, but it's not really about the time. It's just the learning and the practicing and the discipline that come from mastering how to direct your mind and your will with intention that is aligned with your soul. So it doesn't really actually have to take any time to do this. It's just that a lot of the time, I'm saying a lot to do with time, so time is obviously a factor here, but I feel like a lot of the time in human life, we get very distracted by the mind. There's a lot of programming that happens very early on in our lives here as humans. We go through the veil of forgetting. So the mind is automatically sort of cut off from itself. And, you know, there's just a lot of interference, really. And so it does take time, patience, and practice to be able to kind of rein it all back in, connect to the deeper realms, and integrate these blessings that the whole mind and the disciplined mind can bring through. So I see you really kind of like leveling up your consciousness here, group number 2. And you have the Hierophant. The Hierophant has been haunting the readings for the past couple days, and it's actually my card of the day today on the tarot app that I use on my phone. I have like a week ahead tarot spread that I do for myself, and there's one card every day. That's actually how I learned to read tarot, along with also watching tarot videos, was interpreting how other people did readings and also pulling one card a day on my tarot app and learning the ins and outs of the card and how it applied to my day. And the Hierophant's been coming up this week. So this is to do with tradition. It's to do with knowledge, learning, discipline, structure, systems, rituals. It can be very much to do with meditation because the Hierophant is like the Pope or the priest. But it's interesting that they've chosen Esmeralda in this Disney deck, and Esmeralda was actually one who went against the church. She was not a heretic, she was not a pagan, but she was a gypsy. She was very devoted to God, but in her very unique and individual way. And I actually love her character in The Hunchback of Notre Dame because she's so compassionate, so caring. And they're showing me the scene where she's in the church and she's singing the song. That song always made me cry because it's quite profound. There's definitely a connection to the divine that you have, group number 2. And they're bringing that up very clearly, very obviously here. And they're talking a lot about rituals, tradition, discipline, and yeah, maybe even to do with your thoughts on religion or how you approach spirituality or how you approach the concept of the divine within you. How do you express that? Because in The Hunchback of Notre Dame, there's, you know, the bishop, I think it was, the main church guy, and he was like very, very restrictive in his ways and very domineering and distorted. And he actually coveted Esmeralda, even though it was like not within his station to do that. And then on the other hand, we have Esmeralda, who is extremely sort of outcast by society and lives on the fringes as a gypsy. And she's very free. She's a free spirit. She's a free soul. And she lives life bountifully like that because she comes from this place of freedom within herself and connection to all things and compassion and empathy. And it's an interesting sort of contrast between those two. And if you look at it from a non-dualistic, non-traditional lens, you can see that she's actually the more religious one because she's living from her truth of her spirit, of her soul. And the one who claims to be more religious is not, because he's living from his devil energy, quote unquote, right, in the tarot. It's his disempowerment and his restriction and his own limitations that he's imposed based on this external idea of God or the divine. So we're getting pretty deep here into like religion, spirituality, embodiment. And I think that's part of what you're willing into being. And that's why they're having me talk about this. Spirit will bring these things up because it's through the understanding of these concepts that we can apply them, especially when we're talking about a will reading, because it's very much, again, to do with the mind, especially for you, group number 2. All right. And you have the Emperor. Talk about discipline, control. Yeah, this is very much what the Emperor, the Hierophant speak of. It is being in a position of authority, control, discipline, self-discipline, being able to very much direct those thoughts and therefore to create your reality. So it is something you have implemented quite some time ago is what they're showing me. So this isn't necessarily something that you just started willing into being. This is like a soul level construct is what they're saying and what they're showing me. And this soul level construct is an unfoldment is the word that they just used, that happens over a period of decades. And it's something that expands as your consciousness expands. So as you go through the years of life as a human, you begin to understand and integrate all of these different layers of consciousness into your being. And there's layers at each decade of life, because that's what they're showing me. It's like it's sort of delineated by these particular ages, so from 0 to 10, and then 10 to 20, and then 20 to 30, and 40 to 50, and so on. And it's these they actually just use the word decan, which I believe is an astrological term, which separates the different houses into their respective rulerships. So if you're into astrology, that could mean something. But yeah, it's like decades and decans. It's delineations. They keep giving me that word as well. And that's kind of, it is very Emperor, it is very Hierophant, because it's how do we organize things? How do we create separations and kind of like empirical data sets to allow us to understand the whole? So it's this very interesting, again, duality between the masculine and the feminine, and the mind and how it's integrating the spirit or expressing the spirit. Ooh, Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so definitely a bountiful harvest here. This is part of it. Like, it's very spiritual in nature, but there's a lot of practical, physical things involved here. There's a lot of blessings. There's a lot of, I mean, I would even go so far as to say financial stability, security, or wealth in some way, shape, or form. And that doesn't necessarily have to mean that you have a lot of money coming from this. It could just be the experience of freedom. Because if we look at Esmeralda, she didn't have much, but she had enough, and she had what she needed, and she felt connected, and she felt free, and she felt abundant, and she was always willing to share too. So whether it's literal or figurative or even both, it's like an experience of freedom, it's an experience of abundance, and that actually could also translate to the physical manifestation of it. This is part of it. I do see blessings, I do see harvest, I do see a physical reflection of this discipline in the mind and direction of the will. The more that you can manifest with intention, the more that you can really hone in and laser beam focus those thoughts and what you're willing into being and why your intention is for that. You know, it's like the core of it being aligned with this peace and compassion and love in a very balanced way, where it's counterbalancing, sort of not too much masculine, not too much feminine, in the sense that the masculine seeks to create that control and that discipline and that action and that delineation, where the feminine wants to create unity and harmony through the feeling and compassion of peace. So it's both. Page of Swords. So much to do with the mind here. Again, we have air element, air dragon, Page of Swords. Swords are air. So there's a lot to do with, and the ballerina here makes me think of balance as well. And you know what they're showing me in my mind? I used to dance competitively. I didn't do ballet. I did actually hip hop. I'm really into like hip hop and R&B, but at the dance academy that I went to, we would put on a show at the end of the year every year, and there was always this one person in the ballet who would do this trick where on stage she would do those pirouettes, I think they're called, and she would do like hundreds of them. And it was always fun because the audience would start counting and clapping and seeing how long she could go for. And I think one year she did like over 150 of them. I don't know how she did that, but it was very impressive. And that's kind of what I'm seeing here, is like the discipline and the time that it took her to practice. You know, how often she did that probably was, I don't know, like she probably practiced that for hours every day, and especially leading up to the show, you know, and the balance that it took for her to stay on her toe, on one foot, pirouetting like that over and over and over again, and not getting dizzy and not falling down. It's amazing. It was really something truly special to behold. And that's kind of what I'm seeing here, is that there's so much that you've been working toward and creating balance, and you're spinning around, but even though you're getting maybe a little dizzy, you're managing to find like points of focus where you can maintain your stability, maintain your balance, while holding something, in this case, like she's holding a sword, right? Swords are sharp, they're dangerous, but she's holding that sword and somehow managing to tenderly grip it without hurting herself. So again, it's not letting your thoughts hurt you, it's gingerly holding them in a way that allows you to use them effectively as a tool, and not to have them hurt you or weigh you down while you continue to practice, while you continue to master, to hone, to refine your balance, your stability, and your direction. And when she was doing those pirouettes on stage, it was like the highlight of the show. I think it was like part of the finale. And so everyone was very happy. She was sharing this gift that she had, and this talent and this skill that she developed through patience, practice, and dedication. And it brought joy to everyone, you know, all of us in the theater. So it definitely stood out to me years later. I'm still talking about it. Obviously, it's something important. So this is kind of what I'm seeing here. It's like whatever you hone and refine, you're going to share with the world in some way, shape, or form, and it's going to create some kind of abundance for you. There's blessings for sure. You have the Seven of Lightnings, which is like the Seven of Swords, the Ace of Rods, the Princess of Blossoms, The 10 of nuggets. Okay, no doubt in my mind that there's going to be a bountiful harvest here. Really, and especially since both of these cards have the world in them, this is very much the energy of abundance, especially as it relates to your position in the world, is what I just was told. And the ace of, or sorry, not ace of pentacles, the queen of pentacles here, she's even holding that pentacle in her hand, and it kind of looks like the world. So the world is really in your hands, group number 2. And there's going to be a lot of, there's going to be a lot of money. There's going to be a lot of abundance. There's going to be a lot of wealth. It doesn't even have to be money. It's just wealth, right? Like wealth can mean many different things to different people, depending on what you find value in. But I see that there's an overcoming of restriction in the mind, and there's new ideas that you're implementing through this compassion and this heartfelt energy. The Princess of Blossoms here is really making me sort of feel like it's very Esmeralda. They even kind of look similar, like they've got very similar hair and appearance. So it is this innocent, loving, compassionate, caring energy. It's coming from the heart. It's coming from this deep place of love. And that's where the bounty comes from, is what Spirit just said. That's where the bounty comes from. But it's through the mind that you're able to direct this. There needs to be a balance between the mind, which is masculine, and the heart, which is feminine. Yeah, okay. And you have the Moon card reversed. Yeah, subconscious mind, going into the astral, meditation. Right. There's answers there. They're saying that you're needing to bring through these answers, or you're practicing bringing through these answers. And they help you to develop in this way. You have the Queen of Lightnings. I think there's a second card attached here. It feels too thick to be one card. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know how these got stuck together like this. Oh my God. What in the... Oh no, I don't want to wreck my cards. Oh, how did that happen? Oh, wow. No way. Queen of Lightnings and Entanglement, and they were literally stuck together, and I had to rip them apart. And I'm not even going to get upset about it. I do love these cards, but that had to happen for a reason, because entanglement was literally, it's like literally about being stuck. And this is the Devil card. That I mentioned it earlier. I didn't know it was in the pile, but there it is. So, and the Queen of Lightnings is again air element. It's swords. Lightnings are swords in this deck. So this is the mind, cutting off the entanglements of the mind that have kept you trapped and stuck like that. Really like ripping them apart in a sense, because there's this need for separation and detachment from past rigid lines of thinking. And they're showing me the bishop again, or whatever he was in that movie, Hunchback of Notre Dame. It's like detaching yourself from these rigid, dogmatic lines of thinking, because they keep you stuck to old ways of being and doing. And that blocks your blessings. That prevents you from feeling abundant. It throws you off balance and causes you to drop the sword and fall down. And and it's coming out right on top of the Seven of Lightnings, which is the Seven of Swords, and that's deception. I also just got the word envy. So it's kind of like self-deception, and it feels very much like you're, again, disciplining the mind so that you can have an awareness of these things, meditating on patterns of disempowerment within your own psyche, and being able to overcome them through this integration of the avatar consciousness, the higher awareness of your source self. And you have lightning. I've never seen this card before. I've had this deck for a long time. What is this card? Oh, it's the Tower. Yeah, number 16, that's the Tower, because number 17 is the Star. So, yeah, there's a breakdown of old structures and old mentalities, is what they just said. Old mentalities that have restricted you from feeling abundant enough to share, or feeling blessed enough to give, or feeling balanced enough to stay upright and continue spinning, or having this patience. And tempering the mind with the heart and the heart with the mind. It's like there needs to be kind of like this fall before the rise, is what they're showing me. fall before the rise. Interesting. And I don't think this fall, it's nothing to be afraid of. The fall is not like a fall from grace. It's not that kind of a fall. You've got the grace within you. You're blessed. And you're doing it for the right reasons, I see here. You know, you're coming from this place of desire to serve, desire to be the peace that you seek to be in the world. Very compassionate, grounded, supportive energy. So I think that the Tower moment, it's like it's helping you to break free from the entanglement, from the attachment. This could even be from a person, but I'm really seeing it as the Queen of Lightnings here. I'm really seeing her as an old mentality, an old mindset, a limiting mindset, one that really stemmed from programming in the subconscious mind. And that's where meditation does literally bring answers, because you start to understand these patterns. And again, that's that sort of the discipline, the control, and the delineation of the Emperor. Being able to see the patterns helps you to understand the whole. That's why I'm such an advocate for pattern recognition and understanding of symbolism, because symbolism helps us to bring awareness to these patterns and what they mean at a larger scale and how they apply to us. This helps us to expand our consciousness, because spirit does speak through the language of symbols. So if you can understand symbols, you can understand your subconscious mind. If you can understand your subconscious mind, you can understand spirit, and you can express that God consciousness, because it is what you are. So this Tower moment is a consciousness shift. It's a change of direction is what they just showed me, but it's not a change of the way you're doing things. It's kind of like a mindset shift or perspective alteration is what I'm seeing. And it just shifts the intention of the energy that you're willing into being. So it shifts it from one of coming from a place of disconnection to coming from a place of connection. But that connection does not involve attachment, because those are two very different things. I think people kind of get them mixed up sometimes. They think, well, attachment is connected, therefore it's about connection. No, connection is actually detached, ironically. And the more that we can detach and disentangle, the more that we can truly, authentically connect, because there's no attachment, which drives separation. I hope you're understanding what I'm trying to relay here. This is information that Spirit has taught me and that I've had to integrate into my life, because I didn't understand the difference, and it was showing up very unproductively in many ways and areas in my life. So this is detachment to connect. Now they want me to grab some cards from the Coffee Cup Oracle. Thank you so much to the generous donor who has purchased these for us from my Amazon wish list, which is linked in the description box below. And it came in yesterday while I was on the day I was doing the live stream for the members, but Spirit told me to wait until this reading to use them. I did pull some for myself this morning while I was having my coffee, because I just felt that was so appropriate. They're the coffee cup cards, and it just felt right. And I wanted to get to know the deck and get the energy of the deck to know me as well. It's like a mutual exchange, and now they're ready. So they want to come through in your reading. So let's find out for you. Group number 2. Oh, I do feel these 2 cards. They told me to stop. Grab these. Turtle. Slowness and protection. Interesting. And triangle. Choices and indecision. So I love that the turtle is coming out right on top of worth waiting for. Slowness is protection, is what I just heard. So the more that you can go slow, the better protected you are, the more stable this is going to be. It's like if you're spinning, what they're showing me is if you spin too fast, you lose your balance and you fall over. So you want to keep it at a steady pace where you've got enough momentum to keep you upright, but not too much that you get dizzy or you lose your balance and you fall over. So this slowness, it's not actually slow, it's methodical. And there's something to do with creation here as well, with the Queen of Pentacles, the air dragon reminding me of Aang from that show. He meets the great tortoise at one point, and that's kind of what turtle is reminding me of as well. So something to do with that. It's like meeting God, basically. And that's why it needs to happen kind of slowly, because you're meeting these God level consciousness within yourself, and it needs to come in sort of incrementally. Otherwise, it can really just overwhelm the system. Now, triangle here with choices and indecision, especially as it's coming out over share, 7 of lightnings, and the entanglement card. I feel like there was indecision due to self-deception or deception within your environment. But I think a lot of it sort of came from within and then was reflected back to you from the outside. People may have shared not inappropriate information, what's the word? Incorrect information with you that distorted your ability to trust your own intuitive knowing, or to clear your mind in the sense that you could make your own decisions and trust your ability to really control what you do and why you do it. So looking at some of these things can be helpful. Looking into that in meditation is what they're recommending. Look to any areas where there have been like patterns. Again, pattern recognition is coming up. Anywhere that there have been patterns of indecision, because those will kind of show you where you haven't necessarily felt connected to yourself or trusted yourself enough to be able to make these, decisive actions, because that's the Ace of Rods. It's action. And I think this tower moment or this lightning strike is really you implementing some change. It's not something that's happening to you on the outside. It's as you've willed it, so it is. So you've said, I'm not going to continue to participate in these patterns of distortion. I'm not going to continue to participate in playing these disempowered roles of myself. Does that make sense? Like, I'm going to step into my power. I'm going to take control of my life. I'm going to will it into being. And you are. And that's where I see you intentionally shattering the towers of disempowerment that have been built in the past. Okay, they want me to get one more. Oh, it's that one right on top. Okay. Whale, wisdom keeper. Ooh, yes. You have deep, deep wisdom within you, group number 2. And it's in your Akashic record is what they just showed me. It's the different lifetimes, the different iterations of you. And you can connect to it through going inward, through the meditation, through introspection. So they're saying find a ritual that works for you where you can connect to this wisdom within. Maybe it's sitting down and journaling or writing things down. Maybe it's doing audio notes and speaking out this wisdom. Maybe it's talking to someone else. Maybe it's just meditating and thinking on it. Whatever it happens to be for you, they want you to do it in a way that is routine and structured, because that's what these 2 cards are really talking about. And eventually share that with others, or if you're already sharing that with others, doing it in a way that is very detached, so that you're not becoming sort of overly invested in the way that it's interpreted or the way that it is received. Because you can't control that. You can control how you say things or how you share this wisdom or your intention behind your communication and sharing of this harvest, but you can't control how other people receive it, if they want it, or even how they interpret it. You can't control whether they believe it, and you can't control how they filter it through their cognitive bias. You really can't control that. And just know that by sharing in an aligned way, in a slow, methodical process of being that which you are sharing, there's a lot of blessings coming. That's what I see here, because you're the wisdom keeper, and this wisdom is sacred knowledge, very sacred knowledge, and it needs to be valued highly. So that's why Spirit will energetically sort of rebalance the scales by bringing you an equivalency in terms of monetary value, or of support, or of recognition, or of connection to others who are going to provide that mutual connection and support without the attachment, without the limitation, and without the distortion. It'll just be very authentic and very mutual. So yeah, I see a lot of connection with the world. I see a lot of connection with people. Even though a lot of these energies are more solitary, I see that there is a lot of blessing that will come through connection to other people and with the human collective as a whole as well, like with the entire earth. That's a big one. you may even be teaching younger generations or your children about this, because they just showed me in the whale card. I didn't see it because it's kind of shadowy, but there's a little calf there. I think that's what they're called. So there's a little baby whale there with the mother, and the 10 of nuggets can speak of generations, legacy, and passing down information through this wisdom, because the wisdom is the wealth. So it's like this transmission of knowledge, this dissemination of this information, the sharing of this wisdom that I think some of it has been garnered through real sort of subjective experiential challenges. Like, you've just been through a lot, and you've had to overcome it. You've had to understand it through the lens of the human, and your soul has very much alchemized and catalyzed that into wisdom, which is beautiful. Love to see that. All right, so that is what I see for you, group number 2. You're willing into existence right now some very, very highly spiritual powers and energies within you, and you're embodying that to help to shape and change the world for peace and for good. So thank you for doing that on behalf of all of the Lightworker Collective that are drawn to these readings, and on the entire collective whole of the humanity, of the humans here on Earth at this time. Being decisive, choosing wisdom, choosing detachment, sharing your knowledge, being patient with this practice, because that's what it is, a practice. Know that this blessing is available to you. As you will it, so it is. All right. So that's what I see. Thank you so much for being here, group number 2. I really appreciate you supporting my work here on the channel. And if you want to go even deeper with supporting my work here, and you love my readings and you want more, we do have memberships available. This will give you access to the members only pick a card readings. Depending on the tier, you'll also get live streams and how-to tutorials that are available. I'm also going to be coming out with tarot courses on the members side of the channel. And you also get specific discounts on downloadable products that I have available on my website for you. So activations, meditations, I'm going to be coming out with affirmations as well. And again, courses to help you to learn to intuitively connect, or to read cards, or to develop psychically, or whatever it is that you're looking to do on this spiritual journey. I'm going to have those available as well. So I thank you guys for your support, for being here, liking and sharing and commenting and all of that, even just watching. I'm so appreciative. So thank you so much, guys. I love you, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye. All right. Hi, group number 3. Welcome to your reading. Let's find out what you are willing into being at this time. So you have Earth Dragon. Wow. Dragons coming out in group 2 and group 3 right off the bat here. So I feel like I just heard covet. You might be coveting wealth or kind of protecting your assets. I also just heard as well. It's giving me kind of like 4 of Pentacles energy, where there's a little bit of sort of gathering things up and hiding it away. Yeah, they're showing me a dog burying the bone. So it's kind of like, this is my treasure and I'm going to protect it, or I'm going to hide it, or I'm going to keep it safe. Could just be putting money in your savings account. Could be being a little bit more sort of protective with your finances as you are focusing on your wealth right now. So let's take a look. Show your support. They're showing me, or this goddess in the card here is reminding me of the goddess from Tefiti from Moana. And at the end, where she grows really big, her heart is restored, and then she's showing gratitude by offering Moana and what's the other guy's name? Can't remember, but the other demigod, offering them sort of gifts of thanks. Okay. Curiosity. Start a project related to something you are curious about. Very soon, what you're asking for will happen soon in a happy way. So as you will it, so it is. You're manifesting this very soon. It's fast. Something to do with, something, because I'm getting project here, but not necessarily business. It feels like something to do with what you value, but for some reason, I'm not getting like business or career or even finances. I don't know. I think I'm going to have to get more cards on this one because I'm not getting a clear reading yet. Wow. Within the next few weeks. So they're not kidding here when they say very soon. Within the next few weeks. That is very soon. Oops. Okay, that one wanted to come out then first. You have the Star with Meg from Hercules. You have the Tribe as well. Yeah, 17 is the number 8, and then you have the Tribe with number 8. So 8, 8. Okay. The Knight of Wands. So definitely curiosity and fast energy. Something that you've set in motion here very fast. You're moving towards something very fast. It could be something creative. Yeah, it definitely could be something creative. Because even with the reference of Safiti there, she created those gifts to show her thanks for having her heart restored. And you have this, no way, the Star twice. Wow. Okay. So group number 3, you are seriously moving towards a goal here, is what I'm seeing. The Star card can speak of many things: hope, regeneration, healing, renewal of faith, redirection, or a renewal in your sense of direction. But I'm really seeing it here as like you're moving towards something that you're very passionate about. There could be a renewal there, but I feel very soon there's going to be some kind of a blessing. They just keep bringing me back to show your support. There's going to be a blessing. It's like if you've been really constricted in your finances or feeling like you had to protect your energy or protect what you valued or hide away what it is that you really felt like you needed. I'm not getting like miserly energy from this Earth Dragon though. That's not what I mean. Like the 4 of Pentacles can be, and the Earth Dragon card can be a little bit of like a covetous was the word that they gave, but I'm actually not feeling it in that context when I see the rest of your cards. We haven't gotten them all out yet, but I'm feeling like it does have to do with what you value and how you protect that. But I think that it's more so that you've kind of been in a position where you had to do that. Like you kind of had to hang on to what you believed was giving you a sense of stability or value. And despite that, you still managed to go off on some kind of an adventure is what they're giving me here. It feels like an adventure, very adventurous, curious. Like starting something new. It can be an adventure in and of itself. And I think that the fact that you have willed that into being, you've taken that course of action in the recent past is what I'm feeling energetically. There's going to be support that comes in from those around you. So I feel like there's going to be support from your tribe, support from a larger group of people, support from people who value. It's almost like if you buried one bone, it's going to sort of replicate itself, and there's going to be several in there. So it's kind of like interest, right? You're accruing interest on those deposits into the savings account, and that's kind of like the support that's coming back out of this in a way, I guess. There could be notoriety because the Star card can also speak of being a star or being in the spotlight, having pursued something that you're curious about, having started a project. I think very soon you're going to see some shifting in this within the next few weeks. The 6 of Cups. I'm very interested by the imagery in this card because there's this guy and he's giving tea. He's having a tea party with all of these little bunnies, and the bunnies do speak to me of fertility. So he's sharing his wealth and then creating more wealth. Yeah, I get this feeling of generosity, which is kind of the opposite of what the Earth Dragon is giving me. It's like that covetousness. So I think there's a balancing out happening where maybe you were kind of holding on to things. I think you're actually being very charitable in the way that you're expressing yourself, or this creative side of you, or something like that. Let's get the rest of the cards here. Wow, you have 11, climax. Okay. I think this is the Justice card in this deck, because 11 is 2. Yeah. But it's interesting that it's climax. So something's about to come to a climax. Something is about to happen within the next few weeks. And there's going to be like a renewal of your hope to go in the direction of this project or something, this creative idea. I don't know that it's to do with career or finances. It's just, it feels more like a passion project. It's something that you're just very connected to at the heart level. Because again, the heart of Tafiti, it's like your creative passion. Yeah, that's what it is. It's your creative passion. You may be sharing it with people. You might be putting it out into the world. The tribe here is going to support you in some way. Ace of Blossoms, Ace of Cups. Yeah, so it's very, very heart-centered. You're very connected to this emotionally. And I think it goes beyond curiosity. Like it's not just something you're curious about. It's something you're very deeply passionate about. So it may have started out as curiosity, but I think it really deepened into a real sense of love for whatever this thing is. And you want to share that, maybe you've even been sharing that. And I think that it's going to, you're going to see something happen in the next few weeks as a result of that. You have the Ace of Nuggets reversed. So that's the Ace of Pentacles. They said you can take it upright. The reversal energy is just to show that it's not here yet, but it will be. Okay, so this could have a direct physical result, like money coming in. It's not here yet. Maybe that's why the Earth Dragon is kind of like, I got to hold on to what I have because I don't have much coming in. And they're saying it's going to, within the next few weeks, there's going to be like financial support, I think, coming in for you from a tribe of people or supporters of whatever project you've put out or whatever passion thing that you are creating or doing, or very, very soon, very soon. Wow. 4 of Lightnings, and these cards are stuck together. That happened in the last reading as well. I don't know how these cards got stuck because they've just been sitting in my little card keeping area. There's nothing over there that's sticky. You got the 4 of Lightnings, which is like the 4 of Swords, and then you have 8 is Balance in this deck. Okay, so then what is Climax then? That's not the Justice card. That's funny that I thought this was the Justice card because it's number 11. But Balance is the Justice card. Okay, what is number 11 in this deck? They're telling me to just look, so I actually do have the guidebook over here. I'll just pull it out. One sec. Oh, look at that. I opened it right to the page. Climax. So the Climax stands for a stormy love and libido, similar to cards 6, the Lovers, and 7, companionship, but more sensitive, intuitive, mature, and more feminine. This card implies a sparkling, positive, and sensuous energy in regard to the erotic, exalting, and ecstatic aspects of the relationship. These are love. It's the tarot of love, but we're not necessarily reading it in this context. But it says the climax may also denote an intimate partnership, which is joyful and profound at the same time. So it doesn't even say what the equivalent would be in the tarot. Well, it's just climax then. Let's not read much into it. I don't know why they had me read that. Maybe that's relevant for you in some way. But there's balance here coming in. I think that the climax of being able to see something come to fruition is about to manifest for you. And it's going to come through in relationship to other people, because the balance card here is really speaking to me of Libran type of qualities or energy. So it's like there's mutuality, there's balance, there's harmony, especially as it comes to reciprocation in relationship to others. Yeah, in connection to others and groups of people and, a larger tribe. You also have the 4 of Nuggets. Ah, there it is, the 4 of Pentacles. I did not know this was in the pack or didn't know that was in the pile, but there it is. So, yeah, but in this deck, it's not a miserly energy because it's just two people sharing, holding hands, and feeling stable and grounded. So again, I get this sense that maybe in the past you were feeling a bit covetous with your money or with your ideas or with your with this project that you're curious about or with your passions. But I think now it's going to be a little bit more out in the open. You have the Two of Rods as well. So it's like Two of Wands. You know, I see two people coming together. It does speak to me of collaboration in some way, but I don't know if it's necessarily one person and one person collaborating. I think that this is kind of like a collective will manifesting. So it's your will matched with the will of your tribe, but it could literally be partnership, because even in Moana, she partners with the demigod. I just can't remember his name right now for whatever reason. And it's through that partnership that they're able to accomplish that goal of restoring the heart. So it rebirths the creative energy and restores life to the land. So I do see some kind of relationship here. And I don't know if it's romantic or if it's business or if it's a passion project. Like I was saying, that's kind of what I'm feeling the most yes from when I say those things out loud. It feels like the passion project is the most accurate. So this could be somebody who you're collaborating with. Yeah, collaboration. Oh, 2 stars could indicate 2 people. Very similar energies, and you're collaborating together on something. You're working together towards some kind of a climax, that you want to produce something, and maybe they have the money and you have the idea, and you come together or something like that. One of you has the power, one of you has the drive. Yeah, again, they're giving me Moana. So it's like she had the drive, she had the calling, she was called by the ocean, she was chosen. And then the demigod, he had the power to be able to shapeshift and to be able to transform. So it's really like these 2 powerful energies coming together towards a common goal. And now they're showing me how he taught her to read the stars and to direct so that they could find the island. Wayfaring. Yeah, it's like the stars are guiding you here. Really interesting. And it's through the tribe. There's something to do with the tribe. This person may be a tribe member for you, like a soul family member, an extension of your oversoul, something like that. I also see that, yeah, again, the tribe will be supportive of this growth, of this expansion, or whatever it is that you're creating and sharing. I do see an offer coming in, and an offer being made. So I think you're offering something up, and there's also something being offered to you as well. Again, there's going to be like reciprocation of support is what I'm seeing. A merging of minds is what they just said, and they took me to the 4 of Lightnings, which is like the 4 of Swords, but in this deck it's different because it's the Tarot of Love. So this one is like they're showing me a merging of minds, like 2 people having a similar idea, but having different sort of approaches and working together through that idea. Yeah, it's like collaboration. And I think it brings you a lot of value with the Earth Dragon. And you've been willing this into being. Like you're manifesting this because it's something you are so deeply passionate about. And you're creating and creating and creating, and then it's drawing in the right circumstances, the appropriate matching of that energy. 2 stars coming together. Wow. Really amazing within the next few weeks. Yeah, we can get coffee cups for you guys as well. So these actually came in the mail yesterday, and Spirit told me to wait and save them for the readings today. I did pull myself some cards this morning as I was having my coffee, because these are the coffee cup oracle cards. So I felt like that was appropriate to get to know their energy. Having my coffee, it was delicious, and this was amazing. So thank you so much to the donator who sent these to us so that we can use them here on the channel through my Amazon wish list, which is linked down below. I have saved like hundreds of decks of different oracle and tarots that I'm so curious to work with. And thank you so much for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So group number 3, let's take a look at what these cards have to say. Oh, really? Okay. I'm like, that's too much. And they're like, just take them. That was the conversation that just happened in my head. All right, so group 3, let's take a look what you got here. You have ocean. Like what? Moana. Yeah, she goes on a journey on the ocean. For the life of me, cannot remember the demigod's name. I've watched this movie 1,000 times. I know it. It's not coming to my mind. All I can think is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, because that's who voices him. What is his name? Anyway, there's a journey here. It's like you're wayfaring. They just keep giving me that word, wayfaring. What? Mountain challenges and achievements. So there's definitely a journey here over a long distance that you're trying to build something, is what I'm seeing, or you're trying to achieve this height, walking up the mountaintop, and it feels like a long journey. But I think having the support of a group of people and collaboration with this other person is really going to help. Ooh, you have shark, more ocean energy, survival and power. Survival and power. I think that's why there's been a little bit of that sort of holding on energy with the finances or with the resources or with what you value. It may have been out of survival. It could have been survival fears, like I'm scared I'm not going to have enough, or I'm not going to be able to provide for myself, or even fear around sharing this idea or this project because there may have been fear that it would be sort of taken from you or distorted in some way. Scarab, nourishment and transformation. These are just beautiful cards. I absolutely adore them. So grateful for the donation. Scarab, nourishment and transformation. Yeah, I think that the fear and the holding on energy was out of a fear of lack, like not having enough, not being nourished. But there's a transformation. And look at the diamond, or like the sapphire in the scarab, the golden scarab. Like it just screams value to me. Treasure, they just said treasure within. Ooh, yeah. So there's something that's transforming here very quickly within the next few weeks, right? Keep that in mind. It's a timeless reading, so whenever you happen to click on it, it'll be the next few weeks from now. But there's a transformation in the way that you receive nourishment. And again, I feel like there's going to be a lot of support coming in from a group of people, a large group of people, especially collaboration offers as you give and share and create. Things are kind of coming to a head. The mountain and the climax are really speaking to me like a peak. Right, you're coming to a peak of some kind. You've managed to survive the sharks and to maintain your value. I think maybe that's why it was protective, not covetous. I think they gave me that word for a reason, but it's more protective energy. I think that's more accurate. And especially if you're going on a long distance journey and you're trying to achieve something great like this, yeah, it is practical to be protective in that sense. It just makes sense. You have horse, freedom and action. Well, I love that with the energy that I'm seeing here, because it's a lot to do with freedom, and you are most definitely taking action towards this, or this action is happening just like in your life. I see that happening really quickly. And wow, bride, wife, and engagement. To me, this is really speaking of this collaboration. Yeah. I do see an offer. Yeah, I see an offer. It's like a proposal of some kind. I don't know if this is romantic. It could be. For some of you, maybe it is. Maybe it's your star meeting with another star, and it's like those two stars merge, and then maybe it's a collaborative project. Maybe it's love, because again, that might be something you're very passionate about. I mean, love does spark a lot of passion. And we have the Ace of Cups, Ace of Blossoms. It's beginning of new love. So it could be something happening. And the Eight of, the Balance card can also speak of, like, it's the Justice card. So this kind of is reminiscent of a commitment or legalities. Could be contracts, right? So it could be marriage, could be some kind of a collaboration. I don't know. But it feels like a commitment nonetheless. And it is a climax in a sense, because you're taking something from one level to the next. And it is an achievement for sure. Yeah, I'm really getting the energy of commitment and support. I see, collaboration, your needs being met financially and spiritually as well, is what they just said too. So there's a lot of passion here that's really bringing a sense of fulfillment and joy. And the freedom to move, the freedom to express yourself. It could be an overseas journey. I mean, because they're giving me movement energy. So yeah, it could be that you're going somewhere to meet with someone, or they're flying you out. Going over water and over mountains. This is a pretty major transformation, group 3. I mean, yeah, this has been a long time coming is what I just heard. So it's a long time coming. This is something that you've been working toward for quite some time. Years is what I just heard. Yeah, years. And I'm feeling like it's been that long. So but it's finally coming to a climax. You're finally going to see something that you've wanted out of this. The reward, they just told me, and they told me, they had me look at the Earth Dragon. The reward is on its way. Wow. This is already underway. You've already kind of set this in motion, and it's not like you really need to know much at this point other than like confirmation, I guess, of this energy being present in your life, and this support coming in, and this achievement coming to fruition, and this journey that may result on your path. Yeah, I do see travel. I see you being in foreign lands. So it could, like I said, it could be overseas. And it's, a really mutual, reciprocal collaboration of some kind or connection. So if you're curious, test things out, because even like the shark energy, you know what sharks do when they're curious about something, they kind of bump it with their nose, and they don't mean to be aggressive. They're just like, it's like they don't have hands, so they can't like just touch something and feel like, what is this? They bump it with their nose. So I'm kind of seeing that, like you might be curious about something that's coming in, and you're like kind of testing it a little bit to see what it is and whether it's worthy. If this is a person, it could be like a person who comes in and you don't trust them right off the bat, even though they're very much like a match to you. So you kind of like test them a little bit to see if they're worthy of or if they're the right fit, not worthy, but if they're the right fit for this collaboration or for this connection or for this potentially relationship or something like that. But I see you well on your way to riches. Oh, they just said that. Yeah, riches. Okay. Luxury, abundance, achievement, getting to the top of the mountain after a long, long distance journey that you've been on. And it's like, you're coming to a climax point in your story here. And it's going to be momentous is what they just said. Okay, so it's going to be momentous. It's going to be worth remembering. It is going to be a major, major plot point in your main character story arc. So you have willed this into being, group number 3. This is a direct result of your intention, your action, your discipline, your power, like your personal power, the transformations that you've been through, the consistent and will directed in this energy of, I just feel like a lot of heartfelt connection to this thing, this project, this idea, this desire. And it's through a meeting of the minds and a project that's launched or something along that trajectory that really creates a lot of abundance here. Oh, they want me to talk more about the offer coming in. Okay. What do you want to say, Spirit? They're saying that the offer comes in quickly, and it kind of requires you to, well, it doesn't necessarily require you to take action, but it comes in quickly, and I think you respond fairly quickly as well, because there's a sense of curiosity about it. Whoops. Yep. Definitely a sense of curiosity about it of, what is this? Is this legit? Is this reputable? Is this person on the same page as me? Something like that. And you do kind of respond, if this is a relationship, the Six of Cups can speak of past life engagements is what they just told me. Past life engagements. So this could be like a husband or a wife from a past life. And this is somebody that you've had many connections to in many lifetimes. Okay. Oh yeah, they're part of your tribe. Right. And I think they offer you freedom in some way. Could be financial freedom, could be emotional freedom. Those are really the two that I'm seeing in your reading. There's a lot of value in the connection. A lot of value. And it's kind of like you guys are going to tackle this challenge together, and that's where the achievement really comes in. I think that you've done a lot on your own, but this person kind of can help you to get to the next level. It doesn't have to be romantic, like I was saying. Like for some of you it will be, I think, but for others I think that this is going to be again like a collaboration, somebody who you're working with, somebody of the same sex or gender, and for others it's somebody who you have a romantic connection to from a past life. They just said you guys have been through a lot together. Yeah, you guys have been through a lot together, and you really do have kind of like that soul level bond because you've many lifetimes of different challenges and different achievements and different things that you've been through. You've transformed, you've reclaimed your power, you've been through challenges that you had to survive and come back from. You've had to really fight for your freedom in certain lifetimes. And it's really interesting, the dynamic they're showing me between these two souls that are here. It's like you guys have you've had to overcome a lot together and individually. But I see that each time you come together, things get easier. It just, things flow a lot better because it's like two heads are better than one. Yeah, it's like the meeting of the minds, right? They did say that before. Yeah, two heads are better than one in this case. And so when you can collaborate, you really, first of all, you hit it off. And second of all, you kind of like, you riff off of each other in a way. Like, what I mean by that is like you inspire each other. So like one person will say something and then the other person will go, oh my God, that gives me this idea. And then they go, oh, that gives me this idea. And so you kind of like build on each other. It like snowballs, the ideas snowball, the creative projects expand. Yeah, it's like you're each other's muses is kind of what I'm seeing. And there's mutual support there. Wow. Yeah, you teach each other things, you support each other in mutually beneficial ways. There's just so much value that I'm seeing in this connection. And I think in the past you've kind of been hesitant because again, that covetous energy is a little bit like protective energy. Like you in the past you may have just restricted or not been open to collaboration or not been open to this kind of support or maybe even romance or love. But I see that for whatever reason, it's like your soul gives you a big yes on this one, and it's obviously meant to be. So it's very much like an intuitive yes rather than a no. And I think there is some curiosity there that you just take a little bit of time to suss out a little bit, like, what is this? Who are you? How do you relate to me and my goals? But I think ultimately there is mutual beneficial energy of collaboration here that will serve both of you for the greater good. So yeah, this offer could come in within the next few weeks, could be an email that you get, or could be somebody that you meet in person for some of you, because those were the two things they showed me. Or it could be both, right? You could get an email and then meet in person. But yeah, it's really going to set you free. If you felt restricted in some way, whatever this person brings to the table, it sets you free. It kind of gives you the tools you need to be able to expand and to see this project come to fruition. Maybe it's the money. Maybe it's just the knowledge, the skills, the know-how. Maybe it's just a reignition of your own passion and your own passion to pursue this project. Something like that. They definitely spark something within you. That's for sure. Like I said, you spark something in them just as much. So it's, yeah. They're giving me the phrase spontaneous ignition. And they're showing me these two unlit matches. And then it's kind of like as you bring them together, both of them light at the same time, just from like the friction of being near each other. Because it's like the magnetic field, all of these ideas are sparked, all of this creative passion, maybe even sexual passion if this is a romantic partner. And I see you two really, yeah, you're taking steps together to move towards your goal. Ascending. Yeah, that's the word they gave me. Ascending. So doing maybe even doing like spiritual ascension work. This could be part of this project. But again, they're showing me travel. There's little suitcases in the tribe card. Yeah, international. They gave me the word international. That is overseas. Yeah, you're traveling internationally with this person. Or this person is international and they come from somewhere else. You could even travel to a mountain together. For whatever reason that's coming up. Like this is obviously a metaphor as well, but I think it could be literal in the sense that there's somewhere that you go that has particularly strong energy. It may be overseas from where you are. It's a mountain. Let me see if there's anything else Spirit wants to bring through. No, they said that's it. So that's what I see for you, group number 3. Within the next few weeks of whenever you're watching this, there's going to be a manifestation as you have willed into being, consciously or unconsciously, this connection to this person who is going to be a real supporter on this project or this path or this creation that you've set in motion. There's going to be a lot of abundance that comes in, an offer of some kind, and you're going to feel nourished and transformed as a result. It's very mutual, very beneficial for both. So yeah, that's what I see for you, group 3. I hope this reading was supportive and gave you some insight into this potential timeline and this potential collaboration or connection. Let me know how it resonates or how this ends up unfolding. I'm very curious, very curious about this. This was a super interesting reading. So thank you so much for being here, guys. I appreciate your views, your likes, your shares, your subscribes, your comments, all of it. Thank you so much for supporting my work here on the channel. And if you love my readings and you want to go even deeper and support the channel at the same time, I do have memberships available. They give you access to the members only pick a card readings. We do weekly guidance. For certain tiers, you can also get how-to tutorials, courses on tarot and psychic development, as well as the live streams that I provide once a month where I answer members' questions and do psychic healing, reading, and provide guidance. So if you guys are interested in any and or all of that, you can hit the join button, which should be right underneath the video. If you don't see it there, there's something to do with the iOS devices. Some of them don't show it on the YouTube app, so you may need to go through a desktop or through the web page rather than the app to get the access to the join button and become a member here on the channel. So thank you so much to the members here. Thank you so much for your support. I'm so grateful. And for the donations of these cards, I absolutely am loving the decks that you guys are choosing from my wish list. There's 3 new ones we've got. Yeah, so thank you. I love you guys, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye.